So I bought a house with Bitcoin back in July. My house was $300,000. I spent 10 Bitcoin on it to buy a house. So I bought a house with Bitcoin in July. That same house now costs 5 Bitcoin. You see the absurdity of this, man? They used to argue, the Bitcoin people, they used to argue, I tell you, it's no different than the late 90s. It's the same friggin' thing. They used to argue that it's going to be a currency. It will replace a dollar as a currency. I don't think anyone but the fools would argue that anymore. You can't. What are you going to do? You're going to buy a house in July for $300,000. I'll give you 10 Bitcoin. Someone say, no one's going to accept that first, because Bitcoin was down to 35,000 off of a 65,000 high just a few months before. Now people say, I'm not going to accept that because it could keep going down and down and down. And it did go down to 28,000 at one point. On the other hand, the other people who think Bitcoin's going up aren't going to give it to you at 10 Bitcoin anyway. So no, it's only at 10. I'm not going to give it to you because it's off as high. I've got a client. He's held Bitcoin forever. Last time I talked to him, he got to take some gains. He didn't do it. He says he's going back. He's right. He's right. I got no ill will towards that guy. He knows what he's doing. I won't touch with a 10-foot pole. But let's not pretend this is a currency. This is going to replace a dollar as a currency. Come on, man. Come on, man. Get your jab. Wear your mask. Get your jab. Wear 3 masks. It's so flippin' stupid. The idea that Bitcoin is going to replace a dollar as a currency. Now, other people say it's a store of value. The store of value, my behind. 22,000, 65,000, 35,000. Every which way to Sunday, man. There's no store of value there. Give me a break. What kind of value are you storing? You might have bought in at 35 and you're now at 66, you're loving life. It's not a store of value. Give me a break. You don't have a store of value when things fluctuate like they do if you can't turn around and exchange it for goods and services, a la gold. We know gold is a literally store of value. And the whole point about gold is simple. You know, some guy was saying, who was this who said this? I forgot. You could buy a finely tailored suit from an Italian tailor back 75 years ago with 1 gold ounce. Fast forward till today, you can buy a finely tailored suit from some guy in Italy for 1 gold ounce. Essentially is the argument. That's a store of value, man. Nothing is a store of value if you have no idea what that's going to fetch for you other than today. Store of value has to have some assurance that in the future it will have a higher value than it does today. Or at least a purchasing power. Let's use that as a better term, purchasing power. I should be able to purchase similar quantity of goods as I can today with this store of value. We know a dollar bill has no store of value because over the long term, it does reduce by 2 to 3% a year. That's the Federal Reserve. These guys are evil geniuses, man. They knew that. They didn't want you to keep your dollars in cash. They wanted you to consume them. Velocity of money leads to inflation, leads to GDP growth. That's what they want. So you're penalized by holding onto your cash for a significant amount of time. It's evil, but it's genius. It's fantastic if you're the globalist. Store of value has to have a value you can be pretty assured of that will be there at some point to transact. Bitcoin doesn't have that. Give me a freaking break. It's all speculative. There's nothing wrong with speculating. Go to the horse track, speculation. It's fun. It's fun. Go to Las Vegas, speculation. It's fun. Betting on football games. Clay Travis, as he talks about his betting, his pump the vein. What does he say? Pump the vein. I can't remember what he calls it. It's funny, actually. It's fun. It's not investing. It's speculation. Bitcoin is the same thing. It's speculation. You got no clue. It's no different than the tech stocks of the late 90s. And the same old story. You old fogies, you don't know what you're talking about. Us young'uns, we know. Dude, it's the same thing over and over and over again. Now, that doesn't mean the stock market is a better place than Bitcoin. I don't know. At least the stock market, we have 100 years of history. Now, I don't know if that's going to continue. My hesitation is that it probably will, but not nearly what we have seen for the last 100 years, as I said many times here before. Anyway, so you think about Bitcoin, you're like, all right, Bitcoin's inherently not a store of value because we're speculating on what the future will hold in terms of the price. Going to Las Vegas, it's not a store of value because you're speculating on what the future will hold up. People say, yes, but Las Vegas, the house wins. All right, so we can use a different one then. All right, so we can say baseball card collection. There's no store of value there. You have no clue. The house doesn't win the baseball card collection. All right, I mean, the transaction, the people who conduct the transactions get paid, I get you. The people who warrant that your Honus Wagner card is legit, what they call it, number 10, I forgot the rating agency. It's not a store of value, though. You can't say, I got this Honus Wagner rookie card, Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card, Michael Jordan rookie card, trifold, Julius Bird, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird, Julius Erving is Magic Johnson. Those will be worth a certain amount of money in the future as a store of value against the purchasing power increase from inflation going down. That's silly. You can't say that. I mean, you're saying I'm speculating, maybe with probable cause in your mind, that this will be worth more. I get it. I got baseball cards, football cards, NHL minor league cards. I have no idea what those are worth now. They might be worth a lot. They might not be worth anything. But to say they have a store of any kind of value is just silly, man. Come on. You could make an argument, I think it's a legit one, that when money is easy, they have certainly a better store of value because there's more money out there with fewer things in which to buy. And so people are more willing to buy Bitcoin, buy baseball cards, buy second and third homes, buy real estate investment, buy stocks, you name it. It's not a store of value, though. It's just an inflation of assets, which is exactly what the Fed's trying to do. So we don't have a store of value, silly. We don't have a currency, a change of a currency. That's just sillier. That's even sillier. So what would it be? It's speculation. I don't get why the Bitcoin advocates are so angry when you say speculative. What's wrong with that, man? Everything's speculative. Your house is a store of value, for sure. You know why? Because you can live in it. You can actually have a roof over your head in your home. That is a store of value because what do I need for my house? I need to provide me a shelter. Now, if you're using your house as an investment for a future, well, that's speculative, man. You got no idea if the schools are going to stay as good, if the cops are going to go bust. You have no idea. So you don't build your financial life based on a speculation of a store of value in a home, and Bitcoin and stocks. You say, at the end of the day, I'm speculating these will be worth more as relative to the purchasing power of what they are today, but it's all speculation. It's okay. Gold, house is the best form of store of value there is. The house is even better because the house serves a purpose. Stocks, if you get dividends, you can make an argument that there's a better store of value. I agree with that. And by the way, you're also going to companies that provide you a service and which have profit margins and profit motives and whatnot, maybe even a dividend. That's definitely a better store of value than Bitcoin. My goodness, dollar bills is a certainly better store of value than Bitcoin because you can purchase stuff on a short term. Long term, there is no store of value in dollar bill. Let's not be silly here. When I mean long term, I'm talking years. There's no store of value. You know, keeping cash on the side for a couple of years, you're not worrying so much about a store of value. You're worried more about a decline in your other assets, so that way you don't have to sell those at a decline. So it's okay. It's speculative. What's wrong with that? Of course, with any speculation, there's inherent, just gigantic risk. And of course, with any speculation, be it ESG stocks, tech stocks, the Nifty 50, plastics, you name it, goes back into history. What was the other one? Nifty 50, Japanese, you name it, man. Privately held real estate investment trust. anytime a speculative investment is taken off and gaining traction among regular people, they start throwing things at it, more and more opportunities to invest instead of a speculative thing. ESG is a big one right now in the investment world. Tons of ESG products come to mind. Like it was 10 years ago, we had tons of smart betas. We used to have portfolio insurance. This before I was coming up in the late 80s. Portfolio insurance was a big rage, and then that just got put. Then we had, obviously, tech stocks in the 90s. It seems like I'm missing something. Real estate. Yeah, real estate, there you go. In the mid-aughts. I mean, look, the sharks on Wall Street, they know how to butter their bread. People are demanding this, we'll give them a product they want. Why are people demanding this? Because fear of missing out is just that simple. And look, if you want to buy Bitcoin, I don't care. Just don't get so defensive when people say it's not an investment, it's a speculation, because that's what it is. All right, love to hear your thoughts.